So I wanted to give like a week one recap of the NFL. So last Thursday, September 4th, 2025, we had the Dallas Cowboys versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Dak Prescott had a pretty good game, 21 to 34, 188 yards. Jalen Hurts had 14 carries for 62 yards and two touchdowns. So I would say out of the two quarterbacks, both performed. I was definitely surprised by the Cowboys. Their defense looked hungry, but trading away Micah Parsons to me wasn't a very smart move. But I understand business-wise why it made sense. But they didn't look bad. But the only issue with the Cowboys are how are they going to look as the season progresses. I know it's week one. I know Cowboy fans could be excited what they've seen on the field, but it's week one, so I want to see how they perform this coming week. Jalen Hurts looked good, but it's the Cowboys, and a lot of people don't have faith in them. So I'll see what the Eagles do next week. But I feel like they came out and they, if people forgot, they showed them why they're the rated. Not just NFC champions, but Super Bowl champions. Defense performed even with Jalen Carter out. They was still, a dominant force, making plays at the end. I didn't really watch the Chiefs and Chargers game for the most part. Patrick Mahomes, he had 6 carries, 57 yards, 1 touchdown. Herbert he was 25 of 34, 318, at 3 touchdowns. So he had a pretty good game, or not a pretty good game. He had a good game. And I think for what I've seen, the little glimpse that I saw of the game Friday, he came to play. He wasn't playing any games. So I think the Chargers defense is vastly improved. Surprisingly, their wide receivers were really making some plays. Running game was okay. The problem has always been with the Chiefs is the inconsistency at wide receiver. They have one on leave. You can call it administration leave for a foolish act that he's getting penalized for. So if I'm the Chiefs, I would make a trade for Tyreek Hill. I think that's exactly what the doctor ordered for Patrick Mahomes. So I think that's something they might want to look in or invest in. But who knows? Buccaneers versus Falcons. Baker Mayfield, we need to put a little bit more respect on his name. He had 5 carries for 39 yards. He was pretty good in that game. I think we don't put enough respect on his name and give him the credit. But I don't really know who the receiver is. But, for what I've seen, they got another guy outside of, Mike Evans and the other receiver. I can't think of his name right now. But I think they're gonna make some noise in the NFC South, definitely. Penix, he had a good game, 298. I think the Falcons, they made the right move to go with him. I think he's ready. I think what a lot of people don't realize is that he was an older quarterback coming in the league. So I think playing so many years in college, polishing your game, I don't think he really needed to sit. I think he said enough last year, and I think he was ready for the moment. So I think Falcons, even though they lost, I think they got some things to be excited about because it was only a 3-point margin. So they definitely got room to, be excited, to be happy, to cheer. So we're going to see what happens. I think it's going to ultimately come down to the Atlanta Falcons and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC South, definitely. The Dolphins and the Colts, I mean, they had Daniel Jones out there looking like the second coming of Aaron Rodgers from his heyday in Green Bay. I mean, he was dicing, willing and dealing. I mean, he looked amazing. I mean, he had the Giants looking like, damn, where was that guy at when he was here? But, in all due respect, the Colts just look in sync. They look like, they got their quarterback. I don't know if the future, because they still got Richardson, but I think they got something to be proud about week one, but I wouldn't, be too excited because they did play the Dolphins and no disrespect to Tua or whoever the quarterback was. But everybody seemed not in tune, inconsistency, a lot of drops. So we'll see what happens the coming week. But Dolphins got to get it together, man. You got Tyreek Hill, you got Waddle, you got speed. They got some pieces, So it's not like they have a terrible team. They just need to come together more. And I don't know what's going on in the locker room or why they were out of sync, but if you look at it, 8 points. They only scored 8 points, and the coach put up 33. Usually around this time, the Dolphins are, blowing teams out the water. Last year, I believe it was, they put up 70 points. So this is the time where you expect, they got to make some people some believers and take away some of that doubt that, they can perform when it's hot, when it's cold, when it's snowing. It don't matter, So we'll see next week. The Raiders, Geno Smith, he did pretty good, 24 34, 362, 1 touchdown. So, I think, he's earned people respect and he's a solid quarterback. I like what the Raiders are doing with Pete Carroll. I think he's a mastermind. They played the Patriots. It wasn't, a blowout game, but it was a respectable win, for Raider fans. I think they got something to be happy about. We're going to see as the weeks go along what's going to happen, But that game wasn't too bad. I didn't watch too much of it, so I don't have, that much of an input on it. But I think it was a pretty good game, pretty solid. I don't know about the May, their quarterback for the Patriots. I think I'm saying his name right, but we'll see. They got Stephon Diggs, but I don't know if he played or not. So we'll see what happens. Cardinals and Saints. I don't trust the Saints quarterback. What is his name? Rattler. I don't trust him. I don't think he's a saver or the fixer. I think they're going to have to go back to the drawing board. Colin Berry did pretty good, put some respect on his name. They won. But that's the thing with the Cardinals. They always perform great in the first 2, 3, 4 games of the season, and they just fall off a cliff. So I think most fans and people want to see some consistency and see that intel of the season, how they're going to do. Are they going to outperform the beginning, or are they going to be the same Cardinals where it's like, you get your hopes up, hey, this is a team contending, and then not just the NFC, but the NFL, and then fall off a cliff. So we'll see. Saints, I think they got to keep rebuilding, and I think they need to really spend their time analyze it, and be honest with themselves. Do we really have the guy, or do we need to make a move, or do we need to make some moves to move up in the draft? Because this is out of pocket for the Saints. The Steelers, shout out to Aaron Rodgers. He had a good game. 22 of 30, 244, 4 touchdowns. We put respect on his name. He's a legend, Hall of Famer, first ballot Super Bowl champion with the Green Bay Packers. He looked comfortable in that offense, with that coach, Hall of Fame coach. So we definitely going to put some respect. But even with the quarterback for the Jets, I can't think of his name right now, but he was definitely, why can't I think of his name? Forgive me. Fields, sorry. Fields was definitely good. He definitely performed. I like the things he did, Willing and Dillon. And that game could have went anywhere. So both teams performed. I mean, your kicker has a 60-yard field goal. I mean, give or take, not everybody could kick it from that far, be proficient and accurate. So I watched that game. It was back and forth. Fields didn't flinch. He looked comfortable behind there. He didn't look like just a scrambler. He was throwing from the pocket. And him and that receiver, Garrett, they look like they're going to pick back off from where they left off. at Ohio State. So I'm excited for the Jets. Even though I'm not a Jet fan, I'm definitely excited for what they're going to look like. And I'm glad Fields is out of the Chicago, because Chicago don't know what they're doing with quarterbacks, and they destroy quarterbacks. So shout out to the Jets. Shout out to the Steelers. It was an amazing game. I thought that was the game of the night. Until we get to the teams that I'm gonna talk about following. Giants on a no disrespect to Russell Wilson, but I think it's time to put darts in. I think it's very clear that Russell Wilson at this point is a backup. I think he can still play, but at this point, I don't think you can go to a Super Bowl with him. No disrespect. But the Giants look good. They look promising, and they got some pieces, but I think they got to get that quarterback situation solidified before they can do anything. The quarterback is the most important position on offense, and I think once they get that, they're gonna do some great things. I like Carter, the defensive end that came out of Penn State. I definitely like that. I mean, Jaden Daniels. I mean, he was one of my favorite quarterbacks. He was definitely looking comfortable out there. He didn't flinch. That pass to Debo, and Debo going down and looking like he wasn't gonna make it in the end zone, and he scored that touchdown. I mean, they got tenacity, they got grit, they got grind. I like what they're doing. I got faith in the Commanders, so that was definitely a good game. But Commanders were definitely in control from start to finish. Panthers, Jaguars. I think at some point, Bryce Young, we're going to have to be honest, he might not be the guy for the Panthers, or he might not honestly be an NFL quarterback. I think he's too small. I think he's inconsistent. I think we look at a couple of games and we be like, So I think if I'm Bryce Young, I may try to get out of Carolina and see if I can revive my career somewhere else where they can really build the things I need around, because I don't know what's going on. I mean, the quarterback we saw at Alabama, we're not seeing in the NFL. I know it's game one, but I mean, most people probably say the same thing. Jaguars look good. Trevor Lawrence, he was good, 19 of 31, 178, one touchdown. I mean, they didn't look bad, but they didn't look that exciting. So, I mean, the Jaguars, even with Travis Hunter, I don't think they're using them right. I would use them more on defense and then pick up plays from them on offense. That's just my personal opinion. Titans, I think they found their quarterback. I think both Bo Nix and Cam Ward, I think they're exceptional quarterbacks. I think we saw something where we're like, okay, Titans, I think you got this right. But also, Broncos, I think they're coming. I think some people need to put some respect on their name. I think they got some great things coming. So we're going to see as the weeks go of how they're going to do. But Bo Nix look good. I think their Broncos defense is going to be underrated, but I think as the season goes, people going to put some respect on it. Jaguars, I don't know. Like, since they went to the AFC Championship game a couple of years ago with, what's his name, the corner, Jalen Ramsey, they ain't really looked the same since. 49ers, I think it's time to rebuild. Purdy looks like he's hurt right now. Kittle on IR. They lost Debo. McCaffrey got the legs and knees of paper and chips crumbling. Like, I think they kind of lost what made them special. And the defense is pretty good, but I think they got to just rebuild and hope that they can get to the heights that they were at, because they're respectable. They've been a formidable opponent to most teams for the last couple of years, but I think they need to rebuild. Seahawks, it's not much to say. They're all right, but, Sam Darnold, we'll see. I don't got too much to say about them. We'll see. Lions, Packers, I'm a Packer fan, if most people don't know. So I watched that game from start to finish for the most part. The defense for Green Bay, I think people are underrating Michael Parsons' impact and saying, oh, well, he don't show up in big games. But I think you saw somebody where you're going to see that consistently through the season. And respectfully, if Green Bay makes it in the playoffs, I think he's going to be that difference maker like they had in Reggie White in the mid-90s when they won the Super Bowl. I'm not saying my Packers are going to win the Super Bowl, but I think their defense is vastly improved. I think that was genius. Like, that defense looked hungry. Like, they looked like the defense that the Eagles had last year, where it was just overwhelming opponents. Like, it was like, wow, you know. And I think Jordan Love, like the offensive line, he looked comfortable. I think receivers are looking more polished. They're catching more. The run game looked like it's going to be good. It's going to be solid. Jacobs looked like he's going to do some things. The tight end, I think they need to put some respect on the tight end's name. I think they got a solid receiving core. The defense, I think it's going to be top 10. I don't know how that's going to look. Are they going to move up or move down as the season goes? But I think they're going to make some noise. But when they play the Commanders, that's going to be the real test to see, okay, was that just a sign, you know, because the Lions were depleted, or is this team really legit, really for real? The Texans and the Rams. So the Rams, that receiver, that snap, he was damn near just, I think it was 14. He snatched the ball out the receiver's hand as he going to the ground. I mean, they looked amazing. They looked amazing. I'm sold on the Rams, but you just never know, because with those back injuries with their quarterback, I mean, you never know for Stafford. You know, like those things can linger. So I'm sold on the Rams. I don't got too much to say about them, but they look good. You know, the offense look good. It's week 1, so you know, we'll see. And he hasn't really been out there all training camp because of the back injury or back nagging or whatever you want to call it. But I think the Rams are coming. You know, put some respect. Because last year they should have beat the Eagles, but I think a lack of experience on that side of the ball, you know, the Eagles had one of them. And the game of the night, man, for 3.5 quarters, the Ravens looked like, man, they were the most elite team ever assembled. They looked like the Avengers in the NFL. And then that boy, that man, that inhuman being named Josh Allen, he showed you why. If Patrick Mahomes' team don't get it together, they're going to be the team to beat in the AFC. Because how do you put up 40, but you also give up 40? And so we have to have a lot of respect for the Ravens, but I don't care what no one says. You up 40 or you're up 15 in the fourth quarter and you basically let that lead slip away, you need to go back to this drawing board and really figure it out, because you might say, oh, we let that get away. We could have got this. But that's not a guarantee, you know? Like, team seeing like, oh, they can be beat. Oh, they look like, oh, they can't be beat. But Ravens are respectable. Lamar Jackson, MVP, respectable. Derrick Henry looked like he was untouchable, but that fumble was costly, and that changed the dynamic of the game. So we'll see, you know, what really happens, because as the season goes along, them two obviously in the playoffs are going to meet again. So we'll see. Lamar Jackson, I don't care nothing about the regular season. You need to get it together in the playoffs, because you look at back in the days with Peyton Manning, like he was excellent in the regular season, but similar to Josh Allen, he just couldn't get over that hump, you know, with Tom Brady. And when he finally did, you know, those times he got to the Super Bowl, like he changed the legacy. So for both Josh Allen, you know, his kryptonite is Patrick Mahomes, and it seems like with Lamar Jackson, his kryptonite is every elite quarterback in the AFC. So we'll see what happens. You know, definitely a fan of Lamar, one of the greatest quarterbacks this game has ever seen. But the Ravens got to get it together. That how you let that go, that would be demoralizing to some people. So we'll see how he responds in week 2. But thank you for listening to me, and this is my week 1 recap.